Okay, hello grade 9s. This is going to be another video demonstration on showing you one of the more medium methods of how you can go about creating your ergonomic pizza cutter handle. So again, remember that the measurements that I'm going to be using are more applicable to the size of my hand. So when you're doing it for your own specific client, you will have to modify and change these to suit your client more so. So to begin with, what I'm going to be working on is just going to be mainly on my front plane for today. So I'm going to get rid of my top and my right plane for the moment by just hiding them. Now what I know is I'm going to have my shape fit inside inside a rectangle, and I'm going to build it out from there. Just going to use a corner right rectangle, and I'm going to set the measurements. So it's going to change to 145, and then change this one to 75. Okay, so they're the measurements that we're going to be working with, so we can get started with that now. Okay, so what you'll notice in this work here is a lot of it's going to be this is going to be free-handed, so they're going to be changed up slightly. I'm going to just change that measurement again a little bit more. Okay, so to begin with, I'm going to be using a lot of splines. I'm going to be using a lot of filleting. So again, this is a lot more free modeling, which you can always use. So let's get started. So what shape I kind of want is, I want this to be almost like a kind of like an L shape inside here. I want this to be rounded, and I want my blade somewhere located outside here, like so. So to begin with, I'm going to drop on my shape here, and I'm going to put on another section there, like so. Going to need to obviously dimension those. So let's change this to 80, try and get it a little bit exact. 27.5. Yeah, we can keep that to maybe 25 instead. That's going to come over to find. Let's just leave it as is. Okay, so we can start rounding these off then. So we're going to use the fillet function for that. Let's change that fillet to maybe, let's write 10. Yeah, 10 looks quite good. I might change this fillet to 12. Fillet to 8. I have quite a dramatic fillet here, so I'll change that to 15. Another fillet between that section, and change that to maybe 4. So I think my thing is glitching. There we go. Alright, so I seem to have my general shape there that I'm quite happy with. I don't like the way that's straight on top, so I'm actually going to add in a small little spline that's going to be located somewhere along here, like so. Then I can come back and I can remove that. I'm going to do the same kind of concept from here, kind of have a little bit of a dip there, so I'm just going to remove that now whilst I have it there. And again, adding that in ever so slightly. Okay, and then I actually need to put another little fillet inside here also. Change that to 4. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to have, let's say, the two of my front fingers along here, and I'm going to have my two back fingers here. So my smaller fingers back here, and the other fingers located here. So I want two semicircular sections located here, like so. Just going to use my circle tool for that. There's one of them, and there's two of them. Okay. Now I'm going to make them slightly distorted to one another, because that's the way it is in real life. And then we want to trim off the excess also. Okay, so I'm quite happy with that shape that I've got at the moment. Then I can go about and start extruding that shape. So what we're starting to look at now, if I just flick this into isometric, you'll notice that I've got the general kind of 3D element shape to it. but I want it to be symmetrical on both sides. Okay, and I'm going to keep that 25. It just seems to be a nice measurement to work with for me personally. Okay, so we've got our shape in there like so, and then we can go about, we can start rounding this off then. So the first and easiest one to put in first is going to be our circle at the back of it. Again, try and put this in before you start rounding those edges. Might just locate it back a little bit. That to 10. Again, there's no exact measurement for that. It's up to you which one you want to pick. And then we want to change that to remove. What you do to one side, you have to do to the other side. So, okay. Now I need to start rounding off the entire structure, okay? So I'm going to start down here with these sections first because they can create a lot of issues if you do them later on. So let's take a look at them as we're creating them. So again, you'll have to manipulate these measurements. Let's try to go something extreme, and let's go with 10 maybe first. Even go a little bit more, 12. Yeah, that's looking quite cool. So again, that's one done. Going to get that back kind of curved section here done next as well. Now you'll notice it'll come up that it's causing an error at the moment, so we can drop down that measurement to maybe 6. 3. Sometimes you'll notice, especially with these kind of different shapes, that's not working, so we're just going to come back to that one in a second as we work our way around it. So let's go off of our top surface here. And we're going to change to 12.5. Just going to keep it nice and fully rounded. Then we're going to do this section here. We're not going to go as extreme though. Okay, so you'll notice there now it's after going in this time. Now before I start rounding this, then I want to add in my section where the actual holder for the actual blade is going to go. So we're going to go sketch, and we're going to go for a center point rectangle. I'm going to just draw it on the center of our work. Change that to 9. Change this height to 25. Let's keep it out there for the moment. We can always come back and edit it. Then we're going to use, we're just going to draw on one side of this. So we're going to go to a circle. You're going to draw it on like so. You know the size for blade is set at 45, but we want to make it a little bit larger. 48 for now. Move it back in ever so closer to it. Change this to being a construction line. Then we want to create our spline that's going to go somewhere around that like so. So we're going to go to sketch. Click on the surface you want to draw on, go to spline. I'm just going around that little part there, like so. Okay. Then you can just start adding your support structures down at the bottom, so using a chamfer. You can come back and just add the little hole for your circle as well. All right, so that is our work done for one of our more medium designs that you can use, and you can take some of those methods as well. All right, thank you very much for watching.